All right, let's dive into who are we, and let's start with our students. That 801 number that makes up our student body, where do they come from? You'll notice we're almost, perfectly split, boys and girls. 51% male, you guys get the slight edge. But also the number that sticks out up here that I want our families to really appreciate and understand is that 18% of our students are current active or retired military. 18%, which means that nearly 1 in 5 of our current students, of our families, are here because of the U.S. military. Now, the good news about our military families, oh my goodness, do they make us awesome. The downside is sometimes we have to say bye after a year or 2 or 3. And so our military families come and they go. They're one of our biggest proponents in the military community to help replace them when they leave, which we have to do every single year. But Montgomery Catholic is unique, not only because we're Catholic, but because of those 18% of students who make us who we are. Montgomery is a unique population. Montgomery is a unique community, and a big part of that is our military population. And so we are so proud that military families, Catholic military families, non-Catholic military families choose Montgomery Catholic. Now, when you look at the racial makeup of our student body, you'll notice those numbers are actually very representative of Montgomery. This is a unique situation for Montgomery Catholic. We represent Montgomery Catholic. We're an adequate slice of what this community represents. Now, not everything is exactly the same, but if you look at these numbers, you'll see 58% white, 24% African American, a 10% Hispanic population, and then we rounded out just under 5% in multiracial and Asian American families. These families are at Montgomery Catholic because they are attracted first and foremost to our high-level education experience and our Catholic identity. And those families, those people in Montgomery don't have to all look the same and come from the same place, because what unites us is our faith. What unites Montgomery Catholic is keeping Christ at the center of what we do, which means that if you want to go to a school where it's a cookie cutter representation from one student to the next, from one family to the next, Montgomery Catholic is not for you. So if you want the diversity that real life has to offer for your student, then you're in the right place. And this is our current population at Montgomery Catholic. Yes, it adjusts a little bit each year, and yes, some families come and some families go, as we mentioned with the military families. But at the end of it, we're a Catholic school. We're kind of unapologetically Catholic, I would say. And one thing that means is we're accepting of all. But if you look down here, we're 62-38 in the Catholic, non-Catholic. So 62% Catholic, 38% non-Catholic. And again, Montgomery, the city, less than 3% Catholic, less than 3% Catholic right here in central Alabama. You know, our schools down in Mobile, they're almost 17% Catholic in Mobile. So, they're just living in a whole nother world. But right here in Montgomery, we are unapologetically Catholic, but open to all. What's unique about our faith, which is the same about our school, is that we are universally understanding, compassionate, and accepting of the families in our community, and this is a place that we want them to be. If we were Catholic only for Catholics, then we would not be living the mission of our church or of our school. We are welcoming to those who come here. Now, if you look at the Catholic, non-Catholic environment that we create here, this is a great place for people to understand that our Christian moral foundation is going to exist no matter where you go to church. It's going to exist in the classroom. It's going to exist on the field of play. It permeates who we are and what we do. It's that Catholic identity that sets us apart, because we're all here to love and to serve God and to love and serve all of God's communities. Now, the other thing that really comes into play when we talk about our Catholic identity is how are we attractive to non-Catholic families? Well, first and foremost, like I said, we're unapologetically Catholic. But don't think that only means that you have to be Catholic or can be Catholic here. It means, do you want your student to be in a safe place? Do you want your student to be in a place where they're loved? Do you want your student in a place where they're going to be around people who are trying to form them to make good decisions and make good moral decisions? I hope the answer is yes to that. You can get a great education a couple of places in Montgomery, but Montgomery Catholic is the only place where those lessons, those academic and non-academic lessons are going to be infused with the Catholic faith, period. So as we look through our student overview, there may also be an opportunity to look at our faculty right here, faculty and staff. So you may say, well, Justin, you were talking about your student population is a perfect representation of Montgomery and of this community, but your faculty may not be. 86% white, not even 10% African American, and we're struggling to increase some of those other numbers that you see there. So let's be real honest with ourselves. Yeah, this kind of says, hey, Justin, you need to do a better job. You need to be aware of this as you're hiring, as you're looking to expand your faculty and your staff. If having a student body that is diverse is important to Montgomery Catholic, why is it not also important that your faculty should represent those same numbers? And I say to you, yes, it is important. And it is something that we have to really take note of. That's why we have a State of the School address. It's why we look at these numbers and say, hey, where do we need to improve? That's part of our opportunities for improvement. And this is a good point to just remind everybody. There's going to be another video where we talk about our strategic plan, where we look forward to the next 5 years, really 5 years and beyond. And one of the core facets of that plan is totally focused on faculty wellness and basically the health and wellness of our faculty, both individually and as a unit. How do we recruit and retain high-level quality faculty, which we're going to talk a lot about. If you look at another number on here, 72% Catholic, 28% non-Catholic, this is, again, very similar to our student body makeup in a 2% town. It's hard to find, at a Catholic school. You're never going to be 100% Catholic in terms of the faculty, but there is one thing that I think is worth pointing out. At no point are any of our teachers in a classroom doing anything but sharing our faith, living our faith, and loving your students. So I'm less worried about the number of Catholic versus non-Catholic and more interested in the experience of faith that's happening in our school, and I would put my stamp of approval on it today, tomorrow, and any day I was challenged on it. So I'm super proud of the folks that we're talking about in terms of who our faculty are. Now, as we talk about teachers, we also want to talk about teacher recruitment. And here's an opportunity for me to share something specific that we have done. We are in our strategic plan going to talk about recruiting and retaining high-level faculty, but how do we bring new, high-level, high-quality, highly motivated faculty to Montgomery? Well, I said Montgomery, not Montgomery Catholic, because there are only so many Montgomery, there are only so many opportunities for hiring folks from Montgomery. So how do we get beyond our city walls and recruit people, make this a destination for folks to come here? Well, that's, I think, a great place where our faith and our school, kind of that mission of our school, can collide to recruit teachers. So we know that we want good teachers in our school. We know that as a Catholic school, we're benefited by having high-level, high-quality Catholic teachers. So what are we going to do? Well, it's hard to set ourselves apart. So if we stick to our Catholic values, let's go find good Catholics that may want to come here. Guys, if you've met Rory Richardson, we added elementary Spanish last year. This is our first year having elementary Spanish back. But if you've met Rory Richardson, she's amazing. She's the exact example of what I'm trying to get to when I say, hey, we need to go find people to come to Montgomery Catholic who can not only enrich us, but we can enrich them and have a relationship with these young teachers that will make our school and their lives better. Well, she's just one example. How did we get Rory? Well, let's be honest. We went to Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. We went to Benedictine and tried to establish a two-way pipeline with Benedictine College. How do we send graduates to this awesome Catholic school in the middle of Kansas? And how do we recruit their graduates to come be teachers at Montgomery Catholic? So without getting into the weeds too much, there's a Cardinal Newman guide to Catholic colleges and universities. And the Cardinal Newman guide says yes or no, this Catholic school, this Catholic college or university is living the faith, embodying the faith in all things that they do. So we took that list. There's only 14 Catholic colleges and universities on that list, and we've started contacting them. Benedictine College was the first. Since that time, a year ago, where we recruited Rory Richardson, we've been back to Benedictine College. We've also been to Ave Maria University in South Florida, and we went to Yeah, where did we go? Franciscan. We're going to be fine. We're going to make it work. Cool. We also went to Franciscan University in Steubenville, Ohio. And each of those universities, we're establishing relationships with boots on the ground. Their provosts, their admissions folks, their career services counselors. How can we send our students to those Catholic colleges? And how can we recruit their folks to come and to be with us at Montgomery Catholic? Well, from Franciscan University, we were able to recruit 2 soon-to-be graduates, Max and Emma, if you saw them on campus in the last little bit. But these 2 students are coming. They came down in April and toured and interviewed and have now accepted positions at Montgomery Catholic. So 2 young, well-formed, highly motivated Catholics. Emma is going to be a theology teacher in the middle and high school, and Max is actually joining our communications team. He's going to help teach broadcasting and journalism in the high school and be a part of our advancement team in the central office. These young people are a part of our future, but we are also a part of what is making them the best young Catholics that they can be. It's a great relationship, and this is a great opportunity for us to go and to find these educators that our students need so much. Brief story from Ave Maria. Yeah, we didn't get anybody, to come up here and to interview this year, but we established relationships with a handful of junior education majors, and they are very interested, both elementary education majors, very interested in coming to Montgomery and seeing what Montgomery Catholic is all about next year. And so this is going to be a long-term process and a long relationship. So I'm very proud of what we've been able to do to recruit. Now we're going to talk a lot about retaining these teachers as well and giving them the resources it takes to be successful. Just a couple other things about the faculty and staff. We also have some shared specialists that move from campus to campus. So our middle school and high school, those faculties are pretty well locked in. But one thing to mention too between those 2 campuses is we have a computer teacher, art teacher, language teacher, and a handful of others, librarian specialists, that are shared between St. Bede and Holy Spirit. And so you may not see them on campus every single day. They're working for Montgomery Catholic every day. Some of them are even working in the middle school as well. But Amanda Collier and Heather Ryan, shout out to you guys. You are at 3 of the 4 campuses every single day. It's crazy. It's amazing. But that's part of what makes this 3 and 4 campus model work. One of the downsides to not being all K3 through 12 on one physical location, it triples the amount of physical plant. It triples the number of folks answering the door and answering the phone. And you have that many more support staff at each place. And so for our specialists to be able to be shared is huge for us. I mentioned a little bit about Rory. Rory is also our Hispanic family liaison to those families that we are bringing to Montgomery Catholic through our Hispanic Family Outreach Program, which you're going to learn a little bit more as we go. We're definitely going to talk about it in our strategic plan, so be sure to come back and see a little bit more about that as well.